Praise the Lord, people of God. It is so exciting to see you coming to our channel, viewing our videos. I'm sure God is speaking to you in different ways. We would love to hear from you, and we would love to know how God is using these videos to bless you and to help you in your spiritual walk with God. The topic that God has put in my heart today is about spiritual places. And why I chose this topic, or why God spoke to me about this topic, is that when we operate in the realm of the spirit, we must be aware of our address, of where we are coming from. So I want you to know that God is intentional about blessing you, but until and unless you know where you are coming from, it becomes very difficult for us to deal with certain things in our lives, and we feel a challenge while fighting our enemies because we don't know where we are coming from. So in this topic, I want to draw your attention to one verse in the Bible that is written in 1 Kings chapter 17 and verse 1. Now Elijah the Tishbite of Tishbe in Gilead said to Ahab, "As the Lord, the God of Israel lives, before whom I stand, there shall be neither dew nor rain these years, except by my word." I want you to understand one thing, that Gilead was a place in Tishbe. That's why he was called the Tishbite. So he said that I come from a place, I come from the presence of the Lord. He's not saying I'm coming from Tishbe. If today I ask you, where are you from? You would say I'm from this place or I'm from that place. But here Elijah is not saying I am coming from Tishbe and this is what I have to say. He's saying I stand before the Lord. So although the Bible gives us his physical location, physical address from where he belongs, Elijah goes on to say his spiritual location, from where he resides in the spirit. He says, I stand before the Lord. So we also have to know our spiritual places, the place from where we belong in the spirit. Until and unless we know who we are and where is our place, where is our dwelling place in the spirit, we will not be able to manifest the power that can be demonstrated by a person who knows where he is coming from. So I want you to first draw your attention to the fact that there are spiritual places and there are physical places. Our houses, we have addresses where we live. If somebody asks us, where are you from, we would say this is the place where we belong, or that place. But in the spirit also, there are different places where we belong, and we have to understand our identities and our addresses in the spirit. That just as the Bible says that we are seated with Christ in heavenly places. So we have to know that when we are fighting our enemies, we are not coming from our physical place, but we are coming from a spiritual place. Because our enemies are not flesh and blood, our enemies are spiritual enemies. We have to fight with them from our spiritual locations. We cannot fight a spiritual enemy from our physical location, because physical locations have limitations and it limits us with our identity. So when we ask somebody, where are you from, by hearing their language, we can say the place from where he belongs. So there are different languages that people speak. So there are spiritual languages that we have to speak. So Proverbs 18:21 that says that the power of life and death is in your tongue. So the language that you speak determines which spiritual place you are from. So we will not go into too much of details about it, but I would leave you with this thought, and I would want you to think about it. Where do you belong spiritually? So there are many such spiritual places. You should always be in the presence of the Lord. That is your address. That is your place of dwelling as a believer, as a Christian. That is why Psalms 91 verse 1 says, "He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty." Because that is our dwelling place. That is the place where we belong. Always remember this: when you are fighting with your enemies in the realm of the spirit, know where are you coming from. I believe God will bless you through this video. Do feel free to share your comments, share your thoughts with us, and let us know how God blessed you through this video. Also feel free to share this video with your friends and family so that they can know that God spoke to you, and maybe they will also be blessed by the video. Thank you so much for joining us. God bless you.